And unique greeting custom in Japan that reflect respect and tradition. 1. Bowing cultural Ojigi. One of the most well-known and symbolic greeting customs in Japan is bowing, known as Ojigi. For Japanese people, bowing is not simply a way to say hello, it is an important part of communication that reflect respect, humility, and politeness. In social interaction, this custom has existed for centuries and continues to play a significant role in Japan's society today. Unlike many Western countries where handshakes are commonly used as a form of greeting, people in Japan often bow when meeting someone. These gestures can be used in a wide range of situations, including everyday greetings, professional interaction, and formal ceremonies. Because of this, bowing is often considered a form of nonverbal communication that carries deep cultural meaning. One interesting aspect of bowing culture is that the depth of the bow reflects the level of respect being shown. In casual situations such as greeting friends or familiar colleagues, people may only give a slight bow. However, when meeting elders, superiors, or important guests, a deeper bow is typically used to show greater respect and politeness. In the professional world in Japan, bowing also plays a very important role. Employees often bow respectfully when greeting clients, business partners, or company leaders. In fact, many companies provide training on the proper way to bow, including postures, the angle of the bow, and how long the bow should be held. Bowing is not limited to greetings, it is also used in situations such as expressing gratitude, offering apologies, or showing appreciation. For example, when someone apologizes for a mistake, they may bow more deeply to demonstrate sincerity and respect. This shows that bowing is not just a formality, but a meaningful expression of emotion and attitude. For international visitors traveling to Japan, experiencing this custom can be fascinating. Many people quickly realize that this simple gesture carries significant cultural importance and reflects the Japan emphasis on courtesy and respect in everyday life. Overall, bowing has become one of the most recognizable symbols of Japanese culture. Even as Japan becomes increasingly modern and globally connected, the tradition of bowing continues to be preserved as an essential part of the country's cultural identity. 2. Greetings based on time of day. In the communication culture of Japan, greetings are more than the simple social expressions. They represent politeness, respect, and awareness of proper manners in everyday interaction. This interesting aspect of Japanese greetings is that different phrases are used depending on the time of the day. This practice reflects the Japanese attention to details in communication and their emphasis on showing courtesy in daily life. In the morning, people in Japan usually greet each other with the phrase "Ohayo gozaimasu." This greeting is commonly used from early morning to until around late morning. Among family members, close friends, or familiar co-workers, the shorter version, Ohayo, may sometimes be used. However, in more formal environments such as workplace, schools, or when speaking with elders, the full phrase "Ohayo gozaimasu" is preferred because it shows respect and politeness. During the daytime, especially from late morning to the afternoon, people commonly use the greeting konnichiwa. This is one of the most widely recognized Japanese greetings around the world. Konnichiwa can be used in many different situations, such as greeting friends, meeting neighbors, or welcoming customers and business partners. The phrase carries a friendly and polite tone that fits well with daytime social interaction. In the evening, the greeting typically changes to konbanwa, which means good evening. This phrase is used when meeting someone later in the day, such as greeting neighbors after work, arriving at a restaurant for dinner, or attending evening social gatherings. Using different greetings across the time of the day helps conversations feel more natural and context appropriate. In Japanese society, using the correct greetings at the appropriate time is considered a basic sign of good manner. Children are taught from young age to use the greeting proper, both at home and in school. Greeting others correctly not only show respect but also help maintain harmony and positive relationships within the community. Furthermore, greetings help create a warm and friendly atmosphere in daily life. When people greet each other politely, it reflects mutual respect and care, which strengthens social connection. Although the greetings may seem simple, they clearly demonstrate the politeness and cultural refinement that characterize Japanese communication. Small details like these contribute greatly to the unique and respectful culture of Japan. 3. Greeting in the workplace. In the workplace culture of Japan, greeting colleagues is much more than a simple social habit. It is considered as an essential part of professional ethics and corporate culture. Japanese society places a strong emphasis on politeness and mutual respect, and daily greeting plays an important role in maintaining harmony and positive relationship within the workplace. These greetings have created a friendly atmosphere, encourage cooperation, and contribute to a respectful and organized working environment. At the beginning of the workday, employees typically greet each other with the phrase "Ohayo gozaimasu," which means good morning. This greeting is widely used in office across Japan. When saying it, people often accompany the phrase with a slight bow as a sign of respect toward colleagues or superior. This simple gesture reflects professionalism and have started the day with positive and respectful tone. Interestingly, in many Japanese companies, employees may still say "Ohayo gozaimasu" even if they begin their shift later in the day, such as in the afternoon or evening. In the context, the greeting does not strictly mean good evening in terms of time, but rather serves as a way to acknowledge the start of work and greet co-workers. Another unique expression commonly used in Japanese workplace is "Otsukare-sama desu." This phrase is often said at the end of the workday or when acknowledging the efforts of co-workers. Although it does not have a direct translation in English, it roughly expresses appreciation for someone's hard work and dedication. When someone says "Otsukare-sama desu," They are essentially recognizing the effort and contribution of their colleagues. The phrase can be used in many situations, such as after completing a task, when co-workers pass each other in office, or when the people are preparing to leave the workplace at the end of the day. It is also frequently used in workplace emails and professional communication. This expression highlights one of the most important aspects of Japan's work culture, teamwork. Rather than focusing only on individual achievement, Japanese companies often emphasize collective effort and collaboration. By regularly acknowledging each other's hard work through phrases like "Osukara Samadesu," employees strengthen the sense of unity and mutual respect within the organization. Furthermore, these daily greetings have maintained a professional and positive work environment. A simple greeting at the beginning or end of the day can make colleagues feel appreciated and valued for their contributions. Overall, greeting custom in Japanese workplace reflect key cultural values such as respect, teamwork, and dedication to work. These small yet meaningful practices have created a supportive and harmonious professional environment that characteristic of Japanese corporate culture. 4. Greeting when entering someone's home. In the etiquette and social custom of Japan, visiting someone's home is not simply a casual social activity. It is accompanied by several polite expressions and traditional manners that reflect respect and consideration for others. Japanese culture places great importance on respecting personal space. So when entering someone's home, people usually say specific phrases to express politeness and humility. When visiting the home of friends, relatives, or colleagues, guests commonly say "Ojama shimasu" before stepping inside. This phrase can be loosely translated as "sorry to disturb you" or "excuse me for intruding." However, this is not meant as a literal apology. Instead, it is a polite expression acknowledging that the guest is entering someone else's private space and wishes to show respect. In many situations, guests will say "Ojama shimasu" while giving a slight bow before entering the house. Only after saying this phrase do they step inside. This simple gesture reflects the humility and thoughtfulness that are deeply rooted in Japanese communication and social etiquette. It is a tradition that has been passed down through generations. Thus, as this is a polite phrase for entering someone's home, there is also a common expression used when leaving. Before departing, guests often say "Ojama shimashita." This phrase can be interpreted as "thank you for having me" or "thank you for letting me visit." It expresses appreciation for the hospitality and serves as a polite way to conclude the visit. What makes the phrase particularly interesting is that they reflect a deeper cultural philosophy of humility and respect. In Japanese society, people are careful not to inconvenience others and often express gratitude even for small acts of kindness. In addition to these greetings, there are other common customs when visiting someone's home in Japan. For example, guests all usually remove their shoes before entering the house, and it is also common to bring a small gift for the host as a gesture of appreciation. For international visitors, this custom may feel unfamiliar at first, but they offer valuable insight into the value of Japan culture. These simple yet meaningful expressions highlight how Japanese people manage politeness and respect in their everyday interactions. Overall, greeting custom when entering and leaving someone's home are an important part of Japanese etiquette. These polite expressions have created a warm and respectful atmosphere while reflecting the cultural value of humility, gratitude, and social harmony that deeply embedded in Japanese society. 5. Greetings before and after meals. In the culinary culture of Japan, a meal is not simply an activity for satisfying hunger, it also carries cultural and spiritual significance. Japanese people place great importance on expressing gratitude for food, nature, and the people who contribute to preparing meals. Because of this, they commonly use traditional expressions both before and after eating to show appreciation they respect. Before starting a meal, people in Japan usually place their hands together or in front of them and say "itadakimasu." This phrase can be interpreted as "I am humble to receive this meal." It is not only a way to thank the person who prepared the food, but also a broader expression gratitude toward everyone involved in bringing the meal to the table, including farmers, fishermen, and even nature itself. Itadakimasu is a very common phrase in everyday Japanese life and is used in almost everyday meal, whether at home, in restaurants, or in school cafeterias. Japanese children are taught from an early age to say this phrase before eating. This habit helps cultivate a sense of appreciation and respect for food from a young age. After finishing the meal, people often say "Gochisousama," Deshita. This phrase roughly means "thank you for the delicious meal" or "thank you for the feast." It expresses appreciation for the effort put into preparing and serving the food. In family settings, it is typically directed toward the person who cooked the meals, while in restaurants, it is often said to thank the chef and staff. What makes these expressions particularly meaningful is that they reflect an important philosophy in Japanese culture. Food is seen as something valuable and worthy of respect, and every meal represents the effort of many people. Saying this phrase reminds people to be grateful for what they have. These greetings also help create a warm and respectful atmosphere during meals. When everyone says "itadakimasu" before eating and "gochisousama deshita" afterward, the meals becomes more than just eating. It becomes a moment of connection among family members or friends. For international visitors traveling to Japan, learning and hearing these expressions is often a fascinating cultural experience. Even though the phrases are simple, they reveal the deep respect and appreciation that are central to Japanese food culture. Overall, greetings before and after meals have become an essential part of daily life in Japan. They not only represent good manners but also reflect gratitude, respect for food, and appreciation for the people who have prepared and provide each meal. 6. Greeting with business card. In business environments in Japan, exchanging business cards is not merely a way to share contact information, but an important greeting ritual that reflects respect and professionalism. Business cards in Japanese are called meishi, and the exchange of meishi usually takes place when people meet for the first time during meetings, business introductions, or professional events. In Japanese culture, a business card is considered a representation of the people who own it as well as the company they work for. Because of this, the process of giving and receiving business cards is carried out with great care and formality. Though this ritual, individuals demonstrate respect toward the business partners while creating a positive first impression. When presenting a business card, people typically hold the card with both hands and extend it toward the other person. At the same time, they often make a slight bow as a polite greeting. The card is presented with the print side facing the receiver so that the information can be easily read. This small but thoughtful gesture reflects the attentiveness and politeness that characterize Japanese communication. The person receiving the card should also show respect by accepting it with both hands. After receiving the card, they usually take a moment to look at it carefully and read the name, title, or company of the person who presents it. This action shows appreciation for the information and acknowledge the importance of the introduction. The card is then often placed neatly on the table during the meeting or carefully stored in a business card holder. One important rule in Japanese business etiquette is that the card should not be immediately placed in a pocket or handled casually. Doing so may be considered disrespectful to the person who offered it. Since the business card symbolically represents the individual, treating it with care demonstrates respect for that person. In many business meetings in Japan, business cards also serve a practical purpose by having participants remember the name and roles of the people represent. This is particularly useful because addressing someone correctly by their name and title is an important part of politeness in Japan's culture. For international professionals working with Japanese company, understanding and following the proper etiquette of business card exchange is very important. Even a small action like presenting a business card correctly can create a strong positive impression and help build lasting professional relationships. Overall, the exchange of business cards in Japan is much more than a simply formality. It is a meaningful ritual that reflects respect, discipline, and attention to details, values that are deeply embedded in Japanese business culture. 7. Telephone greetings. In the communication culture of Japan, even phone conversations follow specific etiquette and greeting custom. Japanese people place great importance on politeness and proper manners. So when answering the phone, they usually begin with a familiar greeting to start the conversation in a friendly and respectful way. One of the most common phrases used when answering the phone in everyday life is moshi moshi. The expression is typically used when speaking with friends, family members, or people the caller knows personally. When someone answers the phone, say "morsi morsi," signals that they have picked up the call and are ready to begin the conversation. In many ways, it is similar to saying hello on the phone in other language. Morsi morsi has become a very recognizable part of Japanese telephone communication. It is generally used in casual or informal situations. For example, when calling friends or relatives, both sides may begin the conversation with "morsi morsi" as a natural way to start speaking. However, in professional or business environments, telephone greetings in Japan are usually more formal. When answering a business call, employees often begin by stating the name of their company followed by their own name. For instance, someone might say, "This is Tanaka from ABC Company speaking." This introduction allows the caller to immediately know who they are speaking with and demonstrates professionalism in business communication. Introducing the company and personal name at the beginning of a call also have create a positive impression for clients or business partners. It shows that the organization values clarity and courtesy in communication. In many Japanese companies, employees are even trained in the proper way to answer the phone politely and professionally. During business calls, Japanese speakers also tend to maintain a clear tone of voice, speaking fully throughout the conversation. At the end of the call, it is common to thank the caller before hanging up as a sign of appreciation. This telephone communication practice reflects the discipline and attention to details that are characteristic of Japanese culture. Even during a brief phone conversation, people strive to maintain politeness and respect toward the person on the other end of the line. For foreigners living or working in Japan, understanding telephone greeting customs can be very helpful. It allows them to adapt more easily to local communication styles and avoid misunderstandings during phone conversations. Overall, telephone greetings in Japan demonstrate a balance between friendliness in everyday life and professionalism in business settings. These small but meaningful details contribute to the refined and respectful communication style that is widely recognized in Japanese society. 8. Greeting when returning home. In family life in Japan, simple greetings when leaving and returning home play an important role in maintaining strong relationships among family members. One of the most familiar and meaningful daily habits in Japanese households is the exchange of greetings when someone returns home after work, school, or other activities. When a person enters the house after returning home, they often say "Tadama," which means "I'm home." This phrase is a gentle way of informing family members that the person had arrived safely. It is typically said immediately after stepping through the door and has become a common part of everyday life in Japanese home. After hearing "Tadama," other family members usually respond with "Okaeri" or the more formal version "Okaeri nasai," which means "welcome back." This response expresses happiness and warmth toward the returning family member. Although the exchange is short and simple, it creates a sense of comfort and connection within the household. This greeting habit is often taught to Japanese children from a very young age. When children return home from school, they are encouraged to say "tadema" to greet their parents or grandparents. In return, the adults respond with "okaeri," showing that they are happy to see them back home. Practicing this routine has strengthened emotional bonds and fostered a sense of belonging within family. Interestingly, these greetings are not limited only to families. They can be also used in other close living environments, such as among roommates or in dormitories. In such situations, the phrase still carries the same meaning of acknowledge and welcome. One notable aspect of Japanese culture is that even small gestures like greeting someone when returning home are considered meaningful. These simple phrases have maintained respect and care among family members while they creating a warm and welcoming environment. For many Japanese people, hearing the word okaeri after a long day of work or study can bring a feeling of comfort and relief. It reminds them that home is a place where they are welcome and where they can relax and feel safe. For foreigners learning about Japanese culture, these greetings are often seen as charming and meaningful traditions. Even though the exchange is brief, it reflects the importance of family, respect, and emotional connection in Japanese society. Overall, greeting someone when returning home is a small but meaningful custom in Japan. Simple expressions like these contribute greatly to warmth and harmony that characterize Japanese family life. Night greeting when leaving the house. In family life in Japan, simple greetings before leaving the house carry meaningful cultural significance. Japanese people believe that saying goodbye before going out is not only the polite habit but also a way to express care and connection among family members. These familiar phrases have become an essential part of everyday life in many Japanese households. When a person is about to leave the house for work, school, or other activities, they often say "itekimasu." This phrase can be translated as "I'm leaving now" or "I will go and come back." It not only informs others that the person is leaving, but also implies that they intend to return home later. After hearing "itekimasu," family members typically respond with "iterashai." This phrase means "take care" or "please go and come back safely." It is a warm and encouraging response that expresses care for the person who is heading out. Although the exchange between "itekimasu" and "iterashai" is very short, it carries a strong emotional meaning. It shows the bond between family members and creates the feeling that each person is cared for and welcome back when they return home. The habit is usually taught to children from a very young age. When Japanese children leave home for school, they say "itekimasu" to their parents or grandparents. The adults then respond with "iterashai." This daily routine helps children feel supported by their families while also teaching them polite communication. In many Japanese households, these greetings are considered a natural part of daily life, whether it is early in the morning before going to work, in the afternoon when running errands, or at any moment when someone leaves the house. Family members often continue the tradition. Interestingly, these greetings provide comfort not only to the person leaving, but also to those staying at home, saying Kimasu reassures family members that the person plans to return, while Iterashai expresses hope for their safety and well-being. For many Japanese people, these simple phrases carry deep emotional value. They have maintained strong family connection even when daily life becomes busy and hectic. For visitors, people learning about Japanese culture is greeting tradition is often seen as a warm and touching custom. It shows that even small everyday interaction can reflect the importance of care, respect, and family bonds in Japanese society. Overall, greeting someone before leaving the house is an important part of family life in Japan. These short but meaningful phrases have created a warm atmosphere and strengthened the connection between family members. 10. Respectful greetings based on social hierarchy. In the society of Japan, respect for age and social hierarchy is an essential cultural value. This principle influences many aspects of daily behavior, especially the way people greet one another. When interacting with older individuals, supervisors at work, or people higher social status, Japanese people often use more formal greeting to show respect and politeness. One of the most visible expressions of this respect is the act of bowing. Japanese people adjust the depth and duration of their bow depending on the social position of the person they are greeting. When greeting friends or people of equal status, the bow is usually light and brief. However, when greeting elders, superiors, or important guests, the bow becomes deeper and is held slightly longer to demonstrate greater respect. In addition to physical gestures like bowing, language also plays a crucial role in expressing respect. The Japanese language includes a special system of honorific speech known as keigo. This form of language is used when speaking to someone of higher status, customer, or anyone to whom the speaker wishes to show respect. Keigo is not simply about replacing a few words with polite alternatives. It is a complex system that involves specifically vocabulary, grammar structures, and expression designed to convey respect and humility. Speakers often modify their sentence and choose more formal language to maintain politeness and professionalism. In professional environments, the use of keigo and respectful greetings based on hierarchies is considered extremely important. Employees typically use honorific language when speaking with managers, clients, or business partners. This practice helps create a professional atmosphere and maintain respectful relationship within the workplace. Children in Japan are also taught the importance of respecting elders from the young age. In schools, students learn how to greet their teachers politely. They practice bowing properly and using respectful language when communicating with teachers and other adults. Respecting hierarchy does not necessarily create distance between people. Instead, it helps maintain harmony and order within society. When individuals understand their roles and positions in social relationships, communication becomes smoother and more respectful. For foreigners encountering Japanese culture for the first time, the greeting system based on hierarchy may seem complicated. However, once they understand the meaning behind these practices, many people realize that it is a thoughtful and refined way to show courtesy and respect. Overall, respectful greetings based on social hierarchies are an important part of Japanese communication culture. The combination of bowing and honorific language reflect politeness, respect, and the strong emphasis on social harmony in Japanese society. Greeting customs in Japan are far more than simple polite expressions used in everyday conversations. In reality, they strongly reflect the core values of Japanese society, including respect, humility, and harmony among people. From simple greetings within families to formal expression used in professional environments, these traditions demonstrate how important politeness and respectful communication are in Japanese daily life. In everyday situation, Japanese people use different types of greeting depending on the context, the time of day, and the relationship between the people involved. For example, they may bow when meeting someone, use specific greetings in the morning, afternoon, or evening, and say particular phrase when leaving or returning home. Although these actions may appear small, they play a significant role in creating an atmosphere of politeness and mutual respect. One of the most distinctive aspects of greeting culture in Japan is the strong emphasis on social hierarchy and age. When greeting someone older or someone with a higher social position, Japanese people often bow more deeply and use more formal language. The system of honorific speech in Japanese, known as keigo, is a clear example of how language is used to express respect toward others. Greeting customs are also very important within family life. Familiar phrases used when leaving the house or returning home may have maintained emotional connections among family members. These simple acts create a warm and welcoming atmosphere in daily life. In addition, the habit of greeting others helps build a harmonious and orderly society. When people consistently show respect and politeness in communication, social relationships become smoother and more stable. This cultural behavior also contributes to Japan's global reputation as a nation known for courtesy, discipline, and respect. For many foreigners learning about Japanese cultural greeting traditions may initially seem complex. However, once they understand the deeper meaning behind these customs, they often realize that these practices represent thoughtful way of expressing care and respect toward others. Another important aspect of greeting culture is that it has passed cultural values from one generation to the next. Japanese children are taught proper greeting manner from an early age. Over time, these habits naturally become a part of their behavior as adults. Overall, greeting customs form an essential part of Japan's cultural identity. While the words themselves may be simple, they carry deep meanings related to respect, humility, and social harmony. Therefore, understanding and appreciating these greeting traditions not only helps people learn more about Japanese culture, but also allow them to recognize the subtle beauty in the way Japanese also build and maintain respectful relationships.